Hello lovelies, I am the Fragnostic and welcome to another episode of Retro Rumble, your weekly Monday evening dose of all things charmingly antiquated and horror related. We've conquered some toughies on the series so far, lovelies. Haunted Castle, Splatterhouse and the original Castlevania on NES, but by God, we're really dipping our dicks in the gazelle blood and waving it around in the middle of the tiger enclosure tonight as we take on an infamous Capcom classic from 1985, a merciless ordeal that regularly tops lists of the hardest games ever made, the arcade original of Ghosts and Goblins. Now, this is usually the part where I say, oh, it's not as bad as it's made out to be, or with the proper preparation, it's a cakewalk, but no. Ghosts and Goblins has rightfully earned its sadistic reputation by building a warship of skulls to float down a river of tears and fear piss, all harvested from the millions of gamers that it has clobbered into whimpering mulch. There's literally no further justice I can do this abomination with words alone, so enough talk. You have been found guilty, Ghosts and Goblins, guilty of ruining millions of lives, guilty of crushing dreams too numerous to mention, and I sentence you to death. Let the execution be carried out immediately. Alright, so here's all the story you need to know in one handy 8-second scene. Princess Prin Prin is giving Arthur the Knight a hand job in the cemetery, and Satan comes out and snatches her away. You fluffy red motherfucker! You have any idea how long I've been trying to get to third base with this frigid bitch? You'll pay for that. Pay hard! And that's it. There's your plot. Outstanding. You might think I'm kidding about the hand job in the graveyard, but seriously, what the fuck else could that scene suggest is going on? You give hand jobs in the cemetery, you're getting snatched up by Satan. Says it right there in the Bible. Prin Prin. Just over this ledge is the most heinous video game enemy of all time. No, not the Raven. He's alright. Here, the Red Arama. Good lord. If you could make flesh the dictionary definition of the term utter cunts. Alright, well, I obviously caught him half asleep there. He didn't look too bad. Based on that performance, it sounds like I'm just being mean about him, but believe you me, later in the game you'll see just how ludicrous they can be. So, Ghosts and Goblins, mechanically speaking at least, is a very simple game. 6 stages plus the final boss, kill all the enemies, kill all the stage bosses, revel in victory. Simplicity itself, no? No, you damn fool! What's the matter with you? Didn't you listen to my fear-mongering introduction? You'll be killed! No, there are some utterly heinous machinations at work here, and the worst of them are— Fuck! God damn it! Wake up, Rob, you dope, you fuckwits. Can't fucking play like that if we want to beat this, I'm telling you now. That wasn't even hard, that was a retarded fucking mistake. Fuck. Alright, chill. Center. Use the rage. Rage is our pilot on this rocket ship to glory, and he's been drinking. Alright, here's the first boss. This is a unicorn, apparently. We made the mistake of picking up the fucking torch here. Shit on a biscuit, you mad bastard. But we're good. Take a key for coming in. Gee, thanks. You make it sound like a consolation prize. We're sorry you're playing Ghosts and Goblins. Here's a key to play more Ghosts and Goblins. Nobody does torture like the Japanese, am I right? So yeah, one of the few mercies that the game throws at you is that you get your armor back after you beat a stage. Not that it'll last long, but the gesture's there, I guess. I hope the past couple of years or so on this channel have brought us closer together, lovelies, because we're going to be spending a lot of time together in our underwear over the next half an hour. Oh, thank fuck, I got the lance back. How often can you say that in a game? Thank fucking lord, I have my starting weapon back. Such is the catastrophic uselessness of the torch. It actually seems like the game gets harder when you pick up the torch. Like you've dared to fucking pick it up and Ghosts and Goblins sees it as a taunt. Because that's all it's good for. Eat a dick, you pile of trash, I'm gonna beat you with the crappiest weapon ever. Of course, the first time player doesn't know that. It's like going to a foreign country and absentmindedly scratching your ear, only to find out that it's a localized gesture that's just told everybody in a 3-mile radius that you're gonna make love to their mothers in their front gardens in front of the bonfire that used to be their houses before cock-slapping their prize mule to death. So, yeah, as I'm sure you figured out by now, 2 hits and you're dead. First hit takes your armor, second hit takes your life. You can find replacement armor in the stages, but it's incredibly rare. Like, I think there's one instance where it's right there in front of you on the ground, and all the others you have to do some ridiculous shit like jumping through thin air at just the right place to make it magically appear. You get 5 weapons in all to aid you in your quest: the starting lance, the god-awful torch, the knife, which is like the lance but faster and therefore better, the axe, which is somehow even worse than the torch, and the shield, which we will have to get eventually for reasons that will become clear soon enough. For now, here's the second boss, and it's 2 unicorns. Yeah, as you'll see further on, creative bosses are not Ghosts and Goblins' forte. You fight one, then you fight 2 of them, and then something else. Maybe they had to save memory space, who knows. Stage 3. This is where the game starts taking you seriously, and that is the last fucking thing you want, believe me. Another thing that Ghosts and Goblins is pretty liberal with is its extra lives. You get your first one at 20,000 points, your next one at 70,000, and then one every 70,000 after that, which might seem like a fair old way, but you do rack up points pretty quickly here. I mean, again, like the complementary armor, if you're at the point where you're counting on it, you're probably going to die and fail anyway, but this knife makes things so much easier. Here we go. Now you'll see. Fuck. What's wrong with these red Aramis today? They're never this well behaved. Good lord, I'm telling the truth about them, I swear. Here, there's another one up here, he'll show you. Here we go. What? Right, literally check anybody else's playthrough on YouTube. Check anybody else's bloody playthrough. These things are utter fucking nightmares. I swear. What the fuck is happening? Oh my god, these fucking things have usually killed me about 20 times by now, and they're just not even trying. They just haven't turned up to work today, like, at all. Unbelievable. Here's another one. Here we go. This is more like it. This is more like it now. But even that one phoned it in there. I swear to you, these fucking red Aramis are usually swooping and flying all over the damn place at the speed of light, just beating the absolute shit out of you. Oh, third boss is a dragon. You don't have to destroy his whole body, so long as you attack the head, you're good. He's one of the few fairly simple enemies to defeat in this game, so... Oh man, I can't get over how little the red Aramis care today. It's usually like trying to take down a fighter jet with a handful of rocks. Alright, stage 4. Short level, divided into 2 pains in the arse. Here's one of the big difficulty differences between the arcade and the NES versions. In this version, these eyeball clouds will absolutely annihilate the laws of physics the minute you press the jump button. I'm not kidding. If you try to jump straight up on some of them, they'll throw you off. If you try to jump right, you'll get chucked left. If you try to jump left, you're going right. Have I inadvertently entered some sort of secret code that's turned on a beginner mode or some shit? Is that what's happened here? I bet you anything, I'll pay for this later. It's a little known fact that Ghosts and Goblins is the first true example of self-aware artificial intelligence. It can see you, it can hear you, and it knows what you're up to, and it absolutely, positively hates you. Capcom didn't know what they'd done until it was already out the door. But thankfully, it's not interested in taking over the world or destroying mankind like in the Terminator movies. It's just content to troll the fuck out of anybody that makes the mistake of spending money on it. Alright, fourth boss. Could it be 2 dragons? Nope, just another one for some reason. I don't know, he's always seemed marginally more aggressive than the one from the last level, but not by any considerable margin. This is actually going pretty well, isn't it? Can't make the mistake of getting complacent though. I know this game. I know this fucking game. It's setting me up for something. Level 5. You can see one of these skulls on the ground. Throw a bloody knife at it as soon as you can. Otherwise it will spring out the ground, start leaping around all over the fucking place. And you'll never catch it. Except with your fragile, hairy face. So this and the next stage are pretty much the same thing. A long gauntlet of ladders where you're harassed endlessly by monsters that spot spawn on you. That's really one of the most brutal mechanics of Ghosts and Goblins. You have certain enemies that will always be there. And once they're dead, but then you have others that just spawn at complete random, and they're usually fluttery little fucks with obscene movement patterns that make it ball-breakingly difficult to navigate zones because they were never designed to be there in the first place. Now you see we've got the shield now. Oh, the shield. One very useful thing that it does is that it destroys projectiles, but to dramatically overcompensate for that, it has an absolutely pathetic firing range. Like when you go up against these big guys who take just as many hits to destroy as the unicorn bosses, you're really just begging to die if you're using the shield, because as you'll see here when this dipshit finally moves away from the ladder, that's another thing with them, they just patrol back and forth aimlessly, so it's entirely possible to run out the time limit waiting for them to get the fuck out of your way. You have a very tight window to kill them with the shield. You can't just hammer the attack key as fast as you like, you have to find a very steady rhythm of throwing these things because otherwise the game will just refuse to launch them and they'll close you down and kill you. See, these platforms don't do anything crazy to you, they're just platforms. But how the fuck are you meant to know that until you jump left and actually fucking go left? Alright, nearly at the top now, and that is nothing to look forward to, believe me, because at the top you have to fight Satan, and as soon as that battle begins, you are completely riding your luck because he has no pattern. If he wants to kill you, he'll kill you. My best tip I can give you with this guy, just be as aggressive as fuck. If you give him a nanosecond to breathe, you're dead. Get right up in his shit and smack the brown off his tailpipe. There you go. Again, you might as well be aggressive because if Satan decides it's your time to die, there's nothing you can do about it. Look at these skeletons. Look, the game's banking on you charging straight into them. Fucking disgusting. But not as bad as what's up this ladder. Two unicorns guarding the way up to the second floor. I promise you better hope you didn't take a knock from the skeletons or the forest ghost down there because you're not getting away from this scenario without getting a smack. Now, in some versions of the arcade game, there's only one unicorn there, which is manageable, but you see right there, your only prayer is to wait for them both to get to one side of you, and then just take the fireball in the arse as you're running away. Yeah, we're on kind of a mini boss rush here. There's a few other variables that the different arcade versions have, and they're mostly localized to this stage. For example, in a minute, we've got to deal with invisible red Aramis, which is always a complete fucking delight, but the trade-off in this version is that there's less big men wandering around. Like, there's a spot in a moment where you have to climb a ladder that one of them's guarding, whereas in another variant you have to kill two, which is nigh on impossible with the shield, so... now you see that armor that's dropped for us there. That normally spawns right on top of the skeleton behind it. I have no idea why it hasn't this time, but what usually happens is that you run up to the armor, you don't see the skull, trigger the skeleton, and in the same moment as you get the armor, you get it cruelly snatched away from you by the attack. Here we go, invisible armor time. Don't even try to deal with that and the skeleton at the same time. Alright, the only thing you can do here is try to unspawn this skeleton by running it off the screen. Which is cheap, I know, but against this game, really? You want to talk about cheap? If this game were a fictional character, it'd be in a Dickens novel financially castrating Bob Cratchit. There's another Arama that comes for you up here, but I can usually catch him on the ascent. But that doesn't matter now because I've got to fight two Satans in my underwear, and this is the worst the game will ever be to you, I think. Obviously you don't want to trigger both at the same time, so the first one is the hardest because you're fighting areas. Oh Jesus Christ, I've done it now. Oh yes! Right, come on. Come on, we got this. Come on, you red fucker. Come on, you red fucker. Go down. You know you want to. Go the fuck down. Yes! Have that, you bastard! Oh man, the adrenaline is just pumping right now. Can't even tell you. No going to sleep yet though. Still got the final boss to beat. Resolve your battle. Work out your differences. Can do, Bob. Can do. Alright, so as you can see, he's kind of lewdly exposing himself to me by opening his dressing gown and spitting fireballs out of what appears to be his nightmarish reproductive organs. And you can only hit him in a very small spot in the eyes on his chest, which is a bastard to get at, so My tactic is to just jump backwards, as that seems to give you the perfect trajectory to hit him properly. And there you go! But wait! This room is an illusion and a trap designed by Satan. Go ahead dauntlessly, make rapid progress. Now, that's not going to make a whole bunch of sense to anybody that isn't heavily concussed, but the short of it is that it's not enough that you beat ghosts and goblins once. Nowhere near enough! What, you think this is a fucking game, man? You think this is a piece of entertainment software, and not a deleted trial of Hercules that King Eurystheus took back when the demigod fell to his knees and began to weep and scream like a newborn child? No. Now you have to beat the whole damn thing again on a harder difficulty, and I don't think there's anything in this game that better sums up its sadistic philosophy. Oh, you beat one of the hardest, if not the hardest game ever made? Congratulations. Now beat it again. Now, thankfully the enemies haven't been given any extra hit points and none have been taken away from you at least. The extra difficulty level amounts to monsters and projectiles being faster than before, but really, I think the main weapon it unleashes against you is that it just breaks your spirit. It just chugs down its bane juice, beats up your butler, and snaps you over its knee. And now, this is your rehabilitation. I'm not going to get hit by this plant this time. Look, you can see it's just a pixel down from where everything else is on this stage, so that you got to duck to hit it. That is the only enemy, not even enemy type, just this one single plant. That is the only enemy you have to do that for. It's just there to fuck with you. Bring it, unicorn! That is the worst looking unicorn I've ever laid eyes on. One horn does not a unicorn make. That's a troll or ogre in feeble disguise. I think they're called Cyclops in the Japanese version, which is still not right because I have 2 eyes, but yeah. That's another arrow in the balls from the second quest. Now you gotta beat everything with the shield and its horrible, horrible range. That means no more free long distance hits on the red Aramas before they wake up. Well, I mean, you don't have to beat it the whole way with the shield. You're welcome to pick up the knife or the lance or whatever, but you know, why risk it at this point? Because, yeah, fuck, I forgot to mention on the first playthrough, Ghosts and Goblins will only let you fight the final boss if you reach him with the shield. If you beat the 2 Satans in stage 6 with any other weapon, the game will flash you a message telling you to go back and get a shield, and then it will dump you back at the beginning of stage 5. And that's really the sick part about it. It makes you endure the hardest boss fight in the game. Fuck. One of the hardest boss fights in gaming history before it tells you that you fucked up. And I mean, there's absolutely no indication of this anywhere else in the entire run through. It's just another ruse to eat your money. As if the countless other indignities you've had to suffer weren't enough already. As if you finally beat 2 of the fuckers, saw that and thought, well, thank goodness, I was starting to think that this was going to be easy. I did deliberate for a little while over which version of Ghosts and Goblins to play for this Retro Rumble. I mean, if I really wanted to cheap you out, I could have played the ZX Spectrum version. That's only got 3 stages. But like most popular games, this got a range of crappy home computer ports back in the day. All except the Amiga, which was actually nearly arcade perfect. I remember the audio being insanely good as well, like actually better than this version, but in the end, it came down to either the infamous NES port or the arcade original, so I decided to go with the more difficult and better looking one. And when I say more difficult, god damn it, I don't mean by much, because the NES port had its own little quirks, the most notable being that they take the idea of only being able to destroy the final big bad with the shield, and they extend that over every single boss in the game. So, the unicorns are invulnerable to the shield, the dragon can't be beaten with the lance, and Satan can't be hurt by the axe. So, in the words of the angry video game nerd, Rule 1, get the knife. Rule 2, get the knife. Rule 3, get the knife. I should also probably mention at this point that I've never beaten the second quest. That's right, if we beat this today, it will be a first for me, so no pressure, I guess. Also, didn't want to mention that I haven't actually died yet, but it's banging around in my brain, so I need to say it. I need my head clear for this. I know I'm doing good so far, but that's really the viewer's trap of Ghosts and Goblins. It looks like you're playing well until you make one mistake, and then you're just not playing well anymore. It's one of those. Those rocks back there share a nasty trait with the gravestones back in the first stage. They sit there looking all innocent and scenic, but in the heat of your battles, if you manage to hit one of them 15 times by accident, or I guess on purpose if you're suicidal, it will summon a magician. And the magician will spawn, instantly launch a projectile at you, and if it connects, you'll turn into a defenseless frog for a few seconds, which in this game is a fucking eternity. You can go through the entirety of Ghosts and Goblins and never meet one. They were more prolific in the sequels, but yeah. Don't bloody do that if you know what's good for you. They're not fun magicians. You're not getting any balloon animals from those bastards. The red Aramas are largely continuing to behave themselves at the moment, which honestly I continue to find utterly mystifying, but I'm on a no-death run here, so I'm not going to rock the boat like. You could literally take a year out of university and do your thesis on the behavioural patterns of the red Arama, I swear to God. In all my years of suffering through this game, I have never figured out what makes them tick, other than if you throw weapons at them, they stay in the air. If you jump off the edge right here and don't touch the sides, you'll get one of the hidden replacement armors. You'll also see right here, crafty little hidden treasure in the pit on the left, which is called a Yashichi. And it's a little shuriken symbol that Capcom like to hide in a ton of their games. It started life as an enemy in the vertical shooter Vulgus, and then again in XX's, but since then it's almost exclusively appeared as a power-up or a source of insane amounts of points. 5,000 in this game if you're interested. Only one hidden treasure gets you more here, and that's the King Doll, which nets you 10,000 points and only spawns once every 28 item drops. The item drops do follow a strict pattern in Ghosts and Goblins. It goes doll, weapon, doll, accessory, doll, weapon, doll, in a chain of 7 before it repeats itself, and although the contents of the drop are largely randomized, the king will always drop on the 28th drop, just like the shield weapon will only enter the cycle from the 3rd stage. Of course, that's the last thing you're likely to be thinking about while red Aramas are trying to kick your head in, but there you are. Anyway, as I was saying, the only way I found to reliably beat a red Arama is to bait it into charging at you on the ground, because while they're charging, they can't escape or dodge, but I have no idea how to reliably trigger that. Not the first bloody clue. I just rely on my reaction speed when I see them hit the ground and start to move, but you can't run away from it, you can't unspawn it. It will chase you through the entire level without mercy, and here's another little knife in your back that hopefully we won't have to deal with in this playthrough. If you let one stay on screen with you for 50 seconds, it becomes a white Arama, and good God almighty, you thought its first form was a pain in the arse. The white Arama has the same amount of hit points, but it becomes far more aggressive in its attacks, and it will just punish you relentlessly for your cowardice. And that's really the worst quirk of this game. There are no straightforward strategies or points where it's better to be aggressive or better to be defensive. You really have to be able to adapt and think on your feet. In fact, this game is far more like fighting Mike Tyson than Mike Tyson's Punch-Out ever was. Like Prime Tyson, before Buster Douglas whooped his ass. It's just like being relentlessly punched while you curl up and cling to life, but when it stops to breathe, when it gives you a tiny window to counterattack, you better take it and wallop it in the chops with everything you've got. Alright, stage 5. Never passed this on the second quest, so we are in pastures new here. It's Satan. Satan always slaps the piss out of me. The worst part is that in the Japanese version of this, he has a pattern. He can be defeated, but something terrible happened when they were localizing this for the US. Somebody pressed a button or deleted a line of code or something, because here, like I said, if he decides it's your time to die, then you're going to fucking die, and there's nothing you can do to change that. So, you saw when I fought 2 of them in the first run of stage 6, I employed the ladders to trick him into making smaller dives at me. Well, your timing has to be perfect for that. Absolutely spot on. A split second either way and he'll do a far deeper swooping dive, hit you and kill you. That is literally the only reliable strategy I have for this incarnation of Satan. I talked about debating which version of the game to play here today. Well, that alone was the mitigating factor. In the NES port he has a pattern. No such luck here. God, this is really jumping around a lot. I think I might have a Windows update running in the background or something, so sorry about that. I don't know if you'll see it post-editing, or... I just really hope this doesn't crash. Really, really hope this doesn't fucking crash. I couldn't be less in the mood to play through this all over again. Alright, here he comes. Big deep breath. Find your center. Focus. I might go quiet for just a minute here. I'm silently mouthing prayers to whoever will listen to. Right, come on, fucker. No. Triggered him too far away. Gotta retreat. Fuck. You follow me down. Fuck. Go on, you red shit. Go on, go down. Go. Oh my god, he didn't dive bomb me. Oh my god, he didn't dive bomb me. Yeah, no, you don't. You fucking crash. Don't you fucking do it. Oh. Jesus Christ. Alright. This is officially the furthest I have ever been. Holy shit almighty. That was intense, wasn't it? I've never fought him like that before. He actually seems less aggressive if you make him fight you down on the platforms, but I don't know if I'll risk it against two of them. Oh man, my heart is literally hammering in my chest right now. If you could hear it, you'd think somebody was trying to kick their way into my house. Alright, we've got to get past these now. Fuck, fuckity fuck, fucking fuck. Christ on the cross. Talk about riding your luck. Have a long old conversation about that. My word. You know the other thing about the US version of Satan is that they gave him double hit points. In the Japanese version, you only have to hit him 4 times. In this one, it's 8. I mean, what the fuck? Double hit points and a completely randomized attack pattern that allows him to kill you outright whenever he feels like it. They really didn't want you getting past him here, did they? It's fucking ludicrous. But we're nearly there. We're very nearly there. You know what I always found strange is that the whole "this room is a trap devised by Satan" thing was devised by Satan. Not the final boss, not Astaroth, Satan. Which Satan is anybody's fucking guess, because by the end of this we'll have killed 6 of them. It's just odd that Astaroth couldn't do it himself. And I call him Astaroth because that's what he eventually became known as, but here he had a lot of names. The NES port refers to him as the Devil, so you've got Satan and the Devil as separate entities, but in the original Japanese game, he was mostly referred to as Daimao, which is a generic term for a big bad overlord. Ganon from Zelda and Bowser from Mario was saddled with it at one point, and it generally just means Great Demon King or something similar. Alright, let's do this. I need to try and lock him into this loop with the ladders here. Oh, so far so good. I don't want to get greedy here. Chuck a few out, hit the ladder. That's the way. Come on. Die. Yes! You fucking... There's your sack of dick, son! There's your last supper in dick form! Fucking have that, you bastard game! Woohoo! This is the best thing I've ever done. This is going straight to the top of the life accomplishments list. I mean, I've still got to kill Astaroth, but the pressure's off now. We've weathered the worst of it now. Alright. Calm down. We don't want to balls this up now, do we? Fucking hell, I can't even hit him now. What an idiot. Alright, give me a minute here, lovelies. Really don't want to fuck this up. Come on, you ridiculous looking demon shit rag. Burst into flames. Go back to hell. Give me back my prin. I'm still nursing a semi that needs taken care of. And that is how you know Death Run Ghosts and Goblins, lovelies. Congratulations indeed. This story is happy end. Oh, you're not wrong, are you? You're not wrong. This couldn't be more happy end if it was at a massage parlour. Being the wise and courageous knight that you are, you feel strength welling in your body. Return to starting point. Challenge again. You can go ram something large and spiky in your back row there, Capcom. I am done with Ghosts and Goblins. Probably for the rest of my life now. Never want to see it again. Great game, absolute classic, but yeah, that's gone straight below Red Lake in the list of games I never want to touch again for the rest of my days. Oh, I'm a little bit emotional here. I'm off to cry openly with happiness, but please, join me again next Monday, where we'll be taking our foot off the gas a little bit and jumping forward to our first light gun game here on Retro Rumble, 1989's hilarious Laser Ghost. See you there. Oh my god, that was fucking insane.
Prehistoric bitch, how we do things downtown.